the things you do.
The things you do.
Sorry for my mom. She's really annoying. But hello, everybody. And my sister and my mom are cooking. I'm in the living room because my boyfriend is working. I think he's still working. I don't know. He works from home. So today we are going to be making the little. Let me show you guys. Let me just take it out of the bag. I made these little snowmans. And I'm going to be making the hats for them. So I have 4 more. They don't have hats. This is how they look without the hat. So I'm going to make the little hats, and I'm going to be selling these at the craft fair coming up in 2 weeks for like as stress balls, but I'm going to be giving the option of like little clips that they could put, so they could also hang this on their Christmas tree if they wanted to use them as ornaments. But they're going to really be like stress balls and things like that. So yeah, I think they're super cute. They're like a cute little Christmas companion or whatever. So I have 5 of them in total, and only one has a hat right now. So I have to do the hat for the other 4. So I actually have this hat already made, and it was supposed to be for a rattle, which is why it has the little rattle on there, but I'm gonna just undo it and then take out the rattle insert and use it for one of them, to be honest. So I only need to make 3 more hats and sew the back of this. But while I do that, I decided that I will like let you guys know, give you guys some like craft fair preparation tips and stuff like that, tell you guys what I've been doing. So I wrote, why does he have to yell so loud? I hope you guys can't hear him, but Brian is literally like screaming in the room or whatever, so he's definitely not working. He's playing video games.
Hello.
But that's fine. Oh, Valerie, are you cutting onions? My eyeballs hurt. Oh, it caught my right eye like I don't know where.
I'm not even cutting onions anymore.
Yeah, but now it's kind of.
It's getting to me. Oh, my eyeballs. Oh, wow. They're burning.
Mommy, stop lying. You're
Okay.
crying. Stop crying.
All right, so I want to talk about like how I've been preparing for the craft fair. This is my first ever craft fair, so I figure while I do this, I could talk to you guys and maybe help somebody else out who's doing their craft fair for the first time. So I wrote some notes on my little Notion account for like this video, so I could kind of talk and read off of that. So, like I said, this is my first craft fair. I found out I got accepted for the craft fair in April, and then the craft fair wasn't until September 25th, which is the next couple of weeks. So, basically that gave me about 6 months to prepare. Although I knew I was going to apply for the craft fair, since last year, September, I started working on a few things for the craft fair that I was going to do last year, but then I ended up not doing it. So then I decided to do it this year, basically. And I just applied and, I got accepted. So leading up to when I got accepted, I was doing a bunch of different things, like making products still. And I wasn't really selling much on my Etsy shop. So all the products that I made were pretty much, just there. So then I'm selling them for this craft fair. I'm going to try and sell everything or as much as I can for this craft fair. But I wanted to talk to you guys about a few things that I had to buy and like a few things that I had to get to prepare for this craft fair for the first time. So obviously, if you've done craft fairs before, you don't have to do all of the extra most. You can just use whatever you have from a previous craft fair. You don't have to buy all new things for every single craft fair. But since this was the first time, I had to go out and buy everything, you know, for the craft fair that I would need. So like I'm required at the craft fair I'm going to have a tablecloth that covers from uh, all the way to the floor on all four sides. So I had to go ahead and buy that. And the displays for the items, signs, which I ended up not buying a sign. I was gonna go on Vistaprint and buy a sign um, for like my table and my booth or whatever, but I decided to make my own sign. So I embroidered it, and the reason why I did that was because I felt like it would be cheaper, which it was. And not only that, but I can also showcase, you know, the handmade quality of my shop and the fact that I also do embroidered items. So I'm hoping that people will see my sign, my little banner. It's not really a sign, it's more of a banner. I'm hoping people will see my banner on the side of my table and ask me about it, and I can kind of talk to them and let them know like that I do make banners, custom banners, holiday banners, things like that. Um, which I might have a few banners available as well for the craft fair. Also, I had to, make the products, so that's going to be a whole different section. I'll get more into that later. But I had to think about like any freebies or goodies that I was going to give for the people who purchased, and my business cards and thank you cards. So I already had business cards, so I didn't really have to go out and buy new business cards. Um, Even though I'm kind of in the process of like rebranding and everything, I decided to just get rid of the what?
The onion.
Oh, the onion. I just decided to get rid of the ones that I have. Oh hi. Oh hi, Spot. I decided to get rid of the ones that I have just because I already have them. It's all the same information. So what I did was, God, go here. So what I did was, instead of getting new business cards, I made QR stickers for my business cards, so people could just scan the QR code um, to get like my link tree and everything like that, instead of just having my Etsy on there. Um, which I have a whole separate video on that, how I made the QR codes and everything like that. So you can go ahead and check that out if you want to see how I made them. And how the business cards ended up looking. And then for the thank you cards, I just used I saw somebody do it on Pinterest. They use like little index cards for thank you cards. So I basically did that. And I made like little goodie bags with some craft bags that I already had, which was what I was using for like when I got purchases and things like that. I would use that craft bag to fill up with goodies and send like freebies to people.
Was that enough tomatoes?
So yeah, I already had that stuff, so I didn't really have to go out and buy different things, and I just used my regular printer to print out thank you cards. So that kind of worked out for me because I didn't have to, go out of my way to get anything, you know, printed or anything like that. Oh my God, it's stuck. Okay. So yeah, I don't have the thank you cards, and I don't think I showed it in a previous video. But if I have any left over, I will go ahead and show you guys. And I might be printing more, just because we're going to do a few different things as like little thank yous. So for me, I am doing like soap samples for my thank yous, for like my little freebies and goodies. And so I just put the little card. I put 2 business cards in the little baggies, and then I put a little soap sample as well. So that's what I did, but you guys obviously can do whatever it is that you want to do, whatever you're selling, whatever free sample. I would do something small, something that isn't going to be like too much of a loss, for your pockets if you give it away for free, So you don't want to like not make money when you're going to a craft fair just because you're giving away free things, So that's something important to keep in mind. Let me see what else. Oh, I wanted to do new packaging ideas. I have a lot of different packaging ideas. So I decided, to revamp and to redo a lot of the packaging, figure out something different, something new, and like get my branding all kind of in order.
Now, should I leave the tomato like this?
Put it in
Oh, and also I had to come up with like the table setup, so I'm still kind of working on that. I drew it out on my phone. I'll show you guys real quick. I drew it on my phone, and it looks kind of crazy. But this is hold on. Let me put it to not speed. So this is how it looks, and I kind of color coded everything so I know what I want. So yeah.
Oh, no habían pops. Se me olvidó. No.
So anyways.
It's not that they wasn't. I thought because I remember that they wanted to know.
Alright, so this is how it looked. It's like the Mom, what did BT stand for? Big teddies?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is where the big teddy bears will be, and I have like 2 pink containers, like boxes or whatever. Like, they're not the wooden boxes, but they're like plastic bins or whatever. Not really bins, I don't know. Crates, that's the word. They're crates. So I put those. I'm gonna like stack them up on top of each other in the corner. And then I'm gonna have my baby stuff in front, embroidery stuff on the side, stress balls, my information up front, the Christmas tree and Christmas items that I have planned to sell, and then I have some soaps that I'm going to put in the back of my table to sell. So that's kind of like the idea of what I want to do. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel and put the notifications so that you guys can see like at the craft fair how the actual table set like ends up looking like. Hopefully it looks cute. I don't know how it's gonna look yet, because we don't have a big enough space to actually like plan it out and like get that idea going. But we have the whole day for hopefully next year we'll have more space to do everything. But we have the whole day before the actual craft fair to set up, and then they give us the morning before the craft fair as well. So hopefully, the day before we can have everything set up to the point where it looks presentable, and it looks nice. So yeah. those are a few things, a few of the important things that we had to purchase and or think about when preparing for the craft fair, and just a few things that will be good for you guys to also think about and take a little bit of time to like decide if you want to get these things, do these things, or whatever the case may be. Ow, he's meeting me.
You like him.
Valerie, you're chewing right here right next to the speaker.
Sorry.
I'm really sure
Tiffany.
nobody wants to hear that.
You cannot tell me that you don't like him.
I love him, but he's annoying.
Ugh.
Anyways, so I want to kind of talk about how I've been keeping track of like the inventory and stuff like that, like what the things I still have to do and the things that have to get done still. So I've had a hard time with keeping track of everything because I started off like with a whole different like idea of what I was going to make for the craft fair. First of all, there was never really supposed to be embroidered stuff at the craft
Do you
fair.
want a soda in the fridge?
There wasn't going to be soaps and all that stuff at the craft fair either. Can you put one in the freezer for me?
I think.
Okay, thank you. So it was all supposed to be like crochet things, and like I said, I had 6 months to prepare. I thought that was going to be enough time, and then like halfway through the time to prepare, I realized there was no way I was going to be able to really get half of the things I wanted to get done. I'm going to show you guys. I think I still have my original idea, and I honestly don't know what was going through my mind when I sat down to write this list of things and what I thought I was really going to do, because it was not realistic, to be honest. So I wanted to do a bunch of teddy bears, which I don't actually have with me right here. They're over there, so I'm not gonna get up because the cat is very comfortable. But I wanted to do 10 different teddy bears, and I wanted 3 of each of those teddy bears, which would be 30 teddy bears. Then I wanted to do rattles to match, pacifier clips to match, teething rings to match, etc. So I started doing the teddy bears, and what I thought would take me 2, 3, 4 hours tops was taking me days to do. And then I realized, yeah, that's not realistic. That's not gonna work. Like, there's no way that I can make 30 of these in 6 months, plus the pacifier clips, plus the rattles, plus this, plus that. Like, there's no way. So halfway through, I kind of decided to add some embroidered stuff, just to like fill up the empty spaces that I knew I was going to have. And so I started making like Christmas ornaments and things like that. Then I started making teddy bears, and that's kind of just like how it went. I just started doing those things. So I changed completely like the whole idea that I had of what I was going to be able to make. And so at some point I was doing like crochet a day, and I was doing like jumbo teddy bears. And then that was like the point where I was really like, okay, I can't do that. Like, I can't, this isn't realistic for me, because during the crochet a day, like I was literally like, my arm was dying. It was like falling off. And like, I really was like, realistically, like, this isn't something that I could sustain. Like, if I go to this craft fair and a lot of people like the things that I have to offer, and they order from my shop and I get a bunch of orders, like, in the future, it's not something that I can sustain by myself, because I'm the only one who knows how to crochet in my family. and I don't have any other friends that know how to crochet, so it's kind of like it's not realistic of me to think that I could do this full time with the pain I'm already having in my wrist because of it. So yeah, I how I kind of like kept track of what I was going to make, like, and all the changes that I was making to the plan that I was going to make, like what I was going to make, was through Notion. So I've been using Notion a lot. I found like some templates that worked for me um, from like different YouTubers and things like that who also use Notion, and I basically have been using the templates to kind of make lists for myself of like what I need to get done, when I need to get it done, when I plan on getting it done, things like that. That's Daddy's. He put that in there, but
It's gonna be ours now.
it's gonna be mine right now because I'm thirsty.
Because I'm about to make this. So,
Wait a second.
sorry, Dad.
Okay. So so I was using that plus my bullet journal to kind of get an idea of what I wanted to do. Wait a second. How many rows did I do? I think I did 3, so I got one more. And I would just like double check and read and write like whatever I put on my Notion, which is what I use most of the time because I can use it from my phone, I can use it from my laptop, I can, if I'm out and I come up with an idea, which often happens because I'm literally always working and thinking about like the craft fair and what I'm gonna do and like all that stuff. So if I come up with an idea, I could just write it down and pretty much figure it out from there. So, oh no, I forgot the stuffing. It's okay, I'll get it in a minute. So yeah, another thing is that I had my mom who reminded me about all the stuff and like reminded me about the realisticness of my plan so that I could change things as needed and like not feel bad about it, and she also helped me come up with a lot of different ideas for like substituting certain things and all that stuff. So yeah. Right, honey?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, honey.
So she was, really helpful. She always listens to me, talk for hours about the same thing that I can't decide, and then only to come up with the same decision that we said the first 5 minutes of the conversation. So, that was always helpful. What I learned about the way my business was going. So I kind of already touched on this, but I learned a lot during this craft fair prep. Like I was so devoted to the idea of having a crochet business because so many people would tell me, oh my god, the things that you make are so cute and like you should sell them, you should make a business out of it, you're really talented. And I'd be like, oh thanks or whatever, and then I never really did anything with that. And then eventually I was like, okay, well maybe I should do this as a career, maybe I should try selling. So I did sell to like friends and coworkers and things like that. So then I realized, okay, well people are willing to actually pay for my things. But then during this craft fair prep, during the last 6 months, I realized, like I said earlier, that crocheting as a business is not sustainable for me. It's not something that I could do full time, need be. Like, it's not something that I can keep up with. So, like, if I were to get like one order every once in a while, okay, that's fine. I could keep up with that. But if I were to get more than like 2 or 3 orders and like, having to do all of that, I wouldn't be able to keep up with it. Mainly because of, like I said, the wrist pain. So Um, while I was doing the craft fair prep and while I was doing all of that, I came to the realization that like doing this full time, which I wasn't even doing it full time because I was still working full time the first half of this whole thing. Um, but I realized that I wasn't able to make things as fast as I needed to, and I wasn't able to crochet as much as I needed to in order to consider it as a full time thing or to even like potentially. Hold on, I can't remember how I did this part. To even consider it potentially, like as a business or career, because it was just not something that I could or should do as a full time thing. I didn't want to like ruin my arm or my wrist or whatever and then, not be able to do anything else because I pushed myself too hard. And I noticed like halfway through this whole craft fair thing, I guess between the excitement and between like, just wanting to have enough things,
I did 11.
I overdid it on multiple occasions and pushed myself, like way too much for one day. And then I was like having to go a week without crocheting before my wrist started, going back to, feeling better and not having any pain or whatever. So, because of that, I was like, nah, I'm not about to, you know, break my whole wrist or whatever, like, and then not be able to, do much of anything just to be stubborn. Yeah.
We forgot to choose.
Oh, that's fine. Just to be stubborn and get things done in X amount of time, like that's not something that I want to do to myself. So even though I had 6 months and I really, really like in the beginning, I really thought like, oh my God, 6 months is more than enough time to get all 30 things and 560 whatever. Like I wanted to do so many things. Like it was going to be close to 100 crochet things at that point with the rattles and the pacifier clips and everything like that. It was going to be a lot. I thought 6 months was enough time, but I wasn't like thinking realistically like of all the breaks that I would need in between to like rest my arm, rest my wrist and my hand or whatever. So yeah. So during that time I started thinking like what else could I do because like I want to start this business. I want to kind of, be my own boss and have a business where my family can kind of help me out and we can kind of like work together, spend more time together and do all those kind of
Yay,
things.
more time.
Yay, more time. But yeah, I wanted to do something, so I started thinking like, okay, crochet isn't something, even if I could sustain it, it's not something that I can share with anybody else because it's literally just me doing all the things. So then I thought embroidery, but in order to pretty much like upscale, I guess is the word. Is that the word I want to use? Um, in order to upscale or make more products, I'd have to get more machinery. And that's not something I currently have the space for. So, if I were to, grow to the point where I need to make more things, I probably would struggle with the space aspect of it. Um, so I'm the kind of person that I think about the future or whatever. Like I try to see things into the future and like what I want them to be. So right now I might not be getting as many sales or any sales or whatever, but in the future I would like to grow my business to a certain point where I can do it full time and it can be like a good source of money for me and my family. So that's how I'm treating it as of now, and I think that's really important, like for people who are starting to treat their business or their startup as what they want it to be. And I was like watching a lot of people who have their full-time business and who are like successful in their area and their field and their business or whatever, and that's what they tell you to do. They tell you to treat your business, whether it's as big as you want it or not, to treat it as if it is what you want it to be already, if that makes sense. Um, that way you could kind of make better decisions for yourself and for your business and how you want everything to be in the future. Um, so, yeah, I think, ow, spots. Oh my god. You just, oh wow. That was a good stretch. Okay. Oh, he's gonna lay down on the other side now. Love that for me. Ooh, stop! You're tickling my toes. So yeah. So I decided that I'm going to be making a lot of changes to my shop for after the craft fair. So I decided to kind of keep things going for the craft fair, keep crocheting, keep that kind of thing going for the craft fair just because I was already working on it. I already made so many products, you know, and so I didn't want to like not sell them or whatever and not like make the things that I had planned, right? So I decided that after the craft fair, I was going to then start making some changes to my business, my brand, and
A little bit more.
it's good for me.
It's not saying nothing, right? But
Yeah, like one more.
a little bit more. You want me to make yours now, honey?
Yeah, honey, please. I'm hungry and Spot is making my foot fall asleep. Um, what was I saying? What was I saying, Mom? But yeah, I decided that I was going to do a lot of changes to the business after the craft fair. So I decided to kind of like add embroidery and add soaps and add these different things for the craft fair and everything like that. But then I decided to really start the big changes afterwards. Um, so like for example, a lot of the things that I'm making for the craft fair, I won't be making again. Like probably ever again for selling purposes. I am still going to crochet because it's been a hobby of mine for over 5 years. So I don't want to like just not crochet. But I won't crochet for selling purposes, if that makes sense. Like, I'll do maybe patterns and things like that if I want. But I'm not going to force myself to make certain things to sell. Um, so that's really like the main thing. Like I already made that decision that I'm going to keep crochet as my hobby. And yes, I'll make things for family and friends. And, I'll make patterns and things like that. And potentially, give free patterns or sell the patterns. But, like, all these things that I make, besides like the easy things, like, maybe not even that, but, I'm not going to make them again. So they're going to be, you know, craft fair exclusives. Whatever I post on the Etsy shop after the craft fair is what is left over from the craft fair, and I won't be making anymore. So it will just be the same amount that I have. So let's say I have one of these dolls left over for the craft fair. This is a doll that I'm going to post. I'm not going to have any more afterwards. Whereas before I started craft fair prep, I was like, oh, I'm going to have, custom dolls and all this other stuff. And now I'm just like, I can't do that. Like, I physically cannot do that. So, yeah. I will, however, possibly consider doing like custom um, items. Like, let's say somebody sees pictures of my work or whatever, and they do want a custom doll. I will happily make it, but it won't be like how I was making things before, where it was 1 to 2 weeks and you got your product and all that stuff. No, it's going to be a way longer processing time because, like I said, physically I cannot keep up with 1 to 2 weeks processing time. And I'm going to treat it like what it is, which is a custom, which is you requesting something from me that isn't on my shop, basically. And all my custom pieces, all my custom items are more expensive than already made items. That's just how it is. I'm figuring out what to do, how to do it specifically to fit your needs and what you want. So I'm not going to sell it at the prices that I will sell at the craft fair for. The prices that are going to be for the craft fair, like, I will probably not sell anything at a price as low as what I'm selling it for, if that makes sense. Like, everything that is at the craft fair is already at a discounted price because it's in person. There's no like shipping and packaging costs that go into the whole price of the item. Well, there's packaging, but not like actual packaging for shipping. So that's why everything's already discounted. But I'm not gonna do like the same prices. I'm not gonna do customs at the same price that I normally do. Like, it's going to all be way more, and what I think my work is actually worth if I were to do them, and that is going to be completely at my discretion. If somebody asks me to make them a custom something that I really don't feel like making, I'm gonna politely tell them I'm sorry, I'm not making those anymore. And I've been so afraid of like saying no because I don't want to lose a sale or whatever, so I make whatever it is that I have to make. But I'm not gonna do that anymore because it's not fun, and it's not, like, I spend more time figuring out how to make whatever it is than it's really worth. So yeah. So I'm not, like I said, fully giving up on crocheting or anything like that. I'm still gonna crochet as a hobby. So there's still a possibility of me later on doing patterns and things like that, things that don't really require me to make multiples of one thing. And I could also potentially make smaller items like these snowman stress balls or whatever. Oh my god, I almost fell over the cat. Careful, bro.
You missed the cheese, though.
The cheese. That's what it was missing.
And the sour cream.
Shop after 25 chances on. Oh yeah. So like I said, after the 25th, after the craft fair, whatever I don't sell, I'm going to post to my Etsy. And I'm going to post with the exact number that I have left. So if I have one of these snowmen left, I'm going to post one. Whatever says like 10, quantity of 10 or more, that's something that I'm willing to remake. But honestly, most of the crochet stuff I won't be remaking. So yeah.
What time is it? What is it?
This man's like it's 7:51. Put my feet in the room. So changes that I'm making to the brand, to the business, to all that stuff. I decided I've kind of been working like back and forth between two businesses technically. I started like kind of sharing some soaps that I've been making on a separate page, and then I had made at Tiffany's, which was like my craft crochet and like handmade items and stuff like that. And then I have Grace Soapery, which is like my soaps and things like that. So I decided for the time being, for the coming year, I'm going to focus on selling soaps, candles, and wax melts. We're going to kind of experiment with candles and wax melts until we get everything situated. Until we get everything situated, we will be selling soaps. Ooh, juice. I've been debating this. Like I said, I've had both accounts on social media and things like that for a really long time. No. So I decided that the soaps, candles, and wax melts was kind of the best thing. Valerie was asking me if I was going to sell cups like this. Since I have it in my hand, I might as well show you guys. I made this for my mom.
Beautiful.
My mom's watching online. This is her cup and this is her bottle.
Beautiful.
So she was asking if I was going to make this, but I'm not. Not for right now, at least.
He has a really long meow.
Yeah, he meows really weird.
Mom.
But Mom, what did you? No, don't even say it again. Don't say it again. I really don't want to know what you said. But
Terrible.
I decided that we will be rebranding most likely. We're gonna be changing the name, keeping it under Made at Tiffany's, kind of doing that. But I want to keep Made at Tiffany's separate so that later I can. His meow is so cute. So that later I can if I wanted to do some embroidered stuff.
Coco's bowl
In the fridge.
Oh, these are really good. I'm gonna talk a little bit about why we're changing everything, and then I'm gonna be done so I can finish eating. But basically, why I decided, I feel like I have to sneeze. Oh no. Okay. Okay. Why I decided to do this is because, like I said, I'm thinking about the future of my business. And I want to get to the point where this is going to be a full-time income for me and my family. So in order to do that, I need to be able to scale whatever it is that I'm making. And as I said, crocheting was not an option because it was just me who knew how to crochet. And I could barely keep up with literally one order every couple of months. So that was not going to happen for me. And then embroidery was kind of up there on the list, but the only reason why I was kind of hesitant to do that is because the amount of space I would need to be able to upgrade and upscale the business. So I decided not to do that either. Maybe later on in the future, when we move somewhere bigger and we have more space and I'm able to get my own kind of like little shed or whatever to have a bunch of like space to do and make stuff, then I'll think about potentially doing embroidery again. But for now, I'm just gonna do that for family and friends and things like that. Oh,
Okay.
Coco hears somebody outside. So I decided to do soaps, candles, and wax melts because it's something that my mom and my sister can help me with, so we could get through making the things faster. And it's something that I could easily upscale. It's something that I can easily make more of in one sitting rather than spending more time to make more of one thing, if that makes sense. And also, it gives me a little bit of what happened? You scared me. It gives me a little bit of creativity. I can do things differently, make different designs, do a whole bunch of different things. With whatever it is that I decide, whatever soap designs I decide to do. And so I'm not going to merge the two shops. I think I'm going to keep them separate. I might rebrand my soap thing, but I'm not entirely sure how that's going to go. So when I figure it out, whether it will still be under Made at Tiffany's or not, I'll let you guys know. I'll post another video. I'll post on TikTok and all that stuff. But yeah, I already have kind of like a different shop. I already have, everything set up, social media and everything like that set up for the different shop. So that's why I'm kind of like, I think I could just go with a different shop. But for now, that is what I'm going to focus on. So starting, we kind of have like a launch date going, but we're not entirely sure. So I'm going to hold off on saying the launch date for new soaps and all that. But for now, we're thinking sometime in November. So like I said, subscribe to the channel so that you guys can get updated and know when we're going to go ahead and launch everything. But it will be sometime in November if all things go well. And yeah, I'm basically going to focus on that. And then hopefully in the near future when either we move to a bigger place or something like that, we will be able to explore other things. But yeah, that is all for today. I hope that you guys learned something and found this video helpful. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
That's why they didn't work.
Hmm?
That's why they didn't work, because they eat